You're listening to the Electronic Media Collective Podcast Network. Yeah, it's a mouthful. For more great shows like the one you're about to enjoy, visit electronicmediacollective.com. And now, our feature presentation.
Hello, welcome to the Middle Age Movies Podcast. Four guys saying, I found some sort of egg. Looks like there's a life form inside. Wait, it's opening. It looks like... My name is Tim, and my podcasting partners are...
Middle-aged Matt.
Joey.
Dungeon Master Rick.
All right, joining us tonight, a man who keeps insisting that we should discuss the bonus situation before we start the podcast. From the Born to Watch Movie Podcast, it's Whitey. Say hello, Whitey.
Hello, gentlemen. Thank you for having me on again. It's going to be an absolute pleasure talking about Alien. Can't wait.
Oh, we are super excited. All right, Joey, why don't you tell us what movie Mother alerted us to this evening?
Tonight we are watching Alien number 646 from the book of 1001 Movies You Should Watch Before You Die, written by Dan O'Bannon and Ronald Shusett, directed by Ridley Scott and starring Tom Skerritt, Sigourney Weaver, and Veronica Cartwright.
Fantastic, Joey. All right, are you guys as stoked as I am to do some brain salad surgery on Alien?
Oh, hook.
Since we're totally tag teaming this film, I wanted to ask Whitey our opening question this Halloween night. Whitey, when was the first time you saw the movie Alien? And part two, when or how old were you when you first heard of the Alien franchise?
Okay, I'm going to answer that in reverse because I saw the sequel first. I saw Aliens first. It came out in 86. I remember renting it I remember going to the cinema and seeing the poster with the Sigourney Weaver Reeboks in a cabinet. And I was like, I got to go and see that. But the problem was I was 11 and my dad wouldn't let me. I then hired it when it came out on VHS, probably I think it came out in 87 or 88, something like that. I remember sitting with my dad and watching it. And then from then, I went straight down to the video shop and hired Alien. And so I saw Alien probably in 87, 88. And I got to say, after seeing the Aliens first and being 13 or 12 or 13, I was a little bit underwhelmed because of what the movie Aliens was. And it was so action-packed, and being a young boy, that's all I cared about was action. But over the years, I have grown to love the original almost as much as I love the sequel.
Nice.
So, yeah. And I've seen this movie many, many times.
Excellent.
Since.
You know, I'm going to mirror you in the fact that I actually saw Aliens first as well. I heard about the Alien. I actually saw the Alien toy first before I got to see the movie. And I saw Aliens first because I was a big fan of the Terminator. And so it wasn't until maybe 13, 14 that I got to see the actual movie Alien. So I'm mirroring your aspect, maybe by a few years off. How about you, Tim? When was the first time you saw Alien and heard of the Aliens franchise?
I'm going to be along the same line as Whitey. I actually seen Aliens first, for sure. It was a great film. I didn't realize that there was a movie before it. When I seen it, it was kind of like, Mad Max 2 to Mad Max to me. It was a little bit of a letdown because the second one is so good.
Wash your mouth out.
I know. I'm sorry. But yeah, I mean, it's a great film. I can't remember the first time I watched Alien all the way through. It was probably, I'm going to say, sometime after high school, since Aliens came out in 86, and I would have been right in the middle of high school at that point. So yeah, I would have seen it, probably in my 20s somewhere for the first time all the way through. But I don't remember when. I'm sure, again, another blockbuster night, came in like, oh, I should rent this one since I've seen the other one. As far as being aware of the Aliens franchise, I would say probably walking down the old Star Wars toy aisle because, we're right after Star Wars, 1977. We're not quite yet to Empire Strikes Back, but this was another 20th Century Fox. They were hoping blockbuster, movie where they could get the kids. So it's the first R-rated film that they actually marketed toys to kids, and there was the Alien toy. So I remember seeing that and be like, what is this thing all about? This is crazy looking. I didn't get it, unfortunately. I wish I did, because I guess they're really rare, super rare.
It's worth a heap of money now.
Yeah,
that thing.
Because it was like super fragile and break. But yeah, that was the first time I, at least had some, insight into there is some other kind of sci-fi franchise out there besides Star Wars and Battlestar Galactica.
Now, I am afraid to ask this question to another member of our podcast team.
God.
Because I'm afraid I might be opening a can of worms. But Rick, when was the first time you saw Alien?
So, look, yesterday was like the absolute not first time that I've seen this one. Okay, so check it out.
I thought we were going to be talking about Jaws in space here for sure.
Thank God, Rick.
No. Check this out. The first time I heard about it, I was in high school. I was over at my best friend's house, and his older brother, I don't know how we got on talking about it, and he was like, dude, you never seen Alien? And I was like, nah. And he's like, dude, it's like a super awesome, franchise of movies. You got to check it out, blah, blah, blah. And I was like, yeah, man, okay. I mean, I was into Star Wars when I was younger and stuff like that. So I didn't actually get into Alien until, I was probably out of college. And I think I even had kids at the time. It was like probably a good decade after I heard about it. It was just something I wanted to watch. I just never really took time enough to invest. However, when I did, I was like all in, man. I watched from the very beginning. I watched Alien, then Aliens, then was it Alien 3, and then all the way up through like the Alien versus Predator and all that stuff. Because I love Predator. Anything Arnold Schwarzenegger, I'm like all about that. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So I watched all that, and when I found out like the history behind all that stuff, how they're related in the same universe, I was like, oh my God, it's crazy, man. And when my son got older, I watched it all with him and stuff. And recently I watched the Alien TV show, which, by the way, fantastic. It's great.
Awesome. Well, Tim mentioned R-rated movies marketing toys towards kids. I got to ask you, Joey, were you the target audience? And when was the first time you watched Alien?
I was not the target audience because I was just born.
It's such a huge.
I'm proud to say that they've been marketing R-rated movies to children since I was born. I didn't see Alien in the theater, obviously. If I had somehow, I wouldn't have remembered it. No insult to the movie. I remember watching it on a small television in our kitchen, like an edited for TV version. Maybe I watched parts of it before that, but I think in its entirety is that I probably watched it after I saw Aliens. But I think I saw little bits and pieces of it before that. To give you an idea, like I remember Aliens was playing at the drive-in. It was one of the last movies to play at the drive-in before it closed. The drive-in wasn't very far from our house. I kind of climbed up, probably 5-6 feet onto the antenna on the side of the house so I could see over the corn. And I couldn't hear the movie at all.
George McFly'd it.
Remember seeing Sigourney Weaver's face. So yeah, and then I was for seconds because I was scared of heights and I was up higher than I was tall. And then I got down. I wasn't close enough to touch the roof, I don't think. Maybe I remember daring myself to go higher, and I think that might have been the closest is that I touched the side of the roof. So that's me and Alien.
You know, it's funny. That was probably before they started broadcasting the audio signal for the cars to pick up.
Oh yeah.
Oh, definitely.
Yeah, because originally you got this little like speaker that you'd have to hang on your door, and you would hear like a 5.1 surround sound system through one little channel.
I believe they call that a 1.1 surround sound system. It was one step above the McDonald's drive-in speaker.
Yeah.
All right.
Not a half step.
All right. So, Tim, as our resident horror host, what are you going to request for our synopsis tonight?
Okay, Matthew. It's going to be fairly easy. You don't even have to do a crazy voice tonight. All I want you to do is I would like you to read the synopsis as Dallas as he enters in a log report aboard the starship Nostromo.
All right. Let's see what I can do for you. All right. Captain Dallas, log report, commercial towing vessel, USCSS Nostromo. Our return trip from Thaddeus to Earth has been halted by Mother, the onboard AI computer. A transmission of unknown origin has been detected, and per company policy, the crew has been awakened from hypersleep to investigate the source. The transmission originated from LV-426, a desolate moon orbiting the gas giant Calpamos in the Zeta Reticuli system. Upon landing, we discovered a derelict alien ship. The crew were of an unknown species who appeared to have died some time ago. While searching the ship, crewman Kane discovered an alien egg, which hatched and launched a creature at his helmet. It melted through his helmet and attached to his face. We were unsuccessful in removing the creature, but after a day it appeared to die and fallen off. Kane seemed to have fully recovered from the incident and rejoined the crew. Just before we prepared to re-enter hypersleep, a creature violently exploded from Kane's chest and escaped into the ship. It appears to be growing at an accelerated rate and is now killing the crew. I've given order to hunt the creature down and jettison it from the ship before it kills us all. Dallas, signing off.
You almost had moments of putty there, I think. It's just, yeah, that was an interesting take. I enjoyed the slow, melodic way that you did that in such a monotone, cadence.
It's all about trying to find the right kind of captain.
I think you found your motivation and you channeled it. It was there, man. You rocked it.
All right. Well, so let's go ahead and take a look at our ship, the Nostromo. It comes out of hypersleep because it receives a signal, and it's kind of neat because we see the Nostromo pulling this like huge mining operation, like these tanks full of stuff that they apparently were mining. I'm assuming from like some gas giant. And of course, this is where we learn our heroes are just working class people, not space explorers like certain other star themed TV shows or star-themed movies. They don't all get along, and that they're deeply concerned with money, and that the company, which is later referred to as Weyland Yutani in other movies, is the source of the threat and power that exists in almost an omnipotent state just off-screen. The ship is then forced to investigate a signal from a derelict ship. So what I gotta say right off the bat is, what do you guys think of the universe that Alien exists in? Because clearly this is far different than Star Wars or Star Trek. I'd like to know, Whitey, what do you think of the Alien universe?
The production design in this film is incredible, and I don't think it's too far away from like a Tatooine form of space. Like, it's that old space, and I think that it's not Death Star space, it's definitely old space. And I love the world building that they do, and the introduction to the crew is just that first 10-15 minutes of the movie is just incredible. So slow paced, it shows you everything you need to know. I love it. I think I know that Joey mentioned earlier about Alien Earth, or Rick did, one of them, and my favourite part of that series was when they went back and almost copied the Nostromo and the production value. And I just think it's beautiful. It's just so well done. It's so raw. It's so industrial. It's so old yet it's so new. It's just it's incredible. I am immersed in this alien state. It's excellent.
Yeah, I have to agree with you. I love the fact that it's like a lived-in universe. You get the opening of the sleeper cells, the caskets, whatever you want to call them, that these guys are, and they're all talking like they just woke up from a nap. They actually have this like almost like soap opera like dialogue with each other, not like extremely crazy soap opera, but just something establishing that there's relationships that are in here. What about you, Tim? What did you think of this whole opening sequence with the Nostromo?
I love it. I mean, you can obviously watch this and you can see already that Star Wars in 2001 are having a major impact on this. The way the visuals are and everything. He's taken a bit of, George Lucas's world, where everything's lived in and well used and everything. We're getting that, seeing it on a working class ship. We're getting kind of some of that beginning Star Wars shot where you were kind of seeing underneath the ship. And I like that the ships in here, they're not sleek. This is not like, these aren't fighters. These aren't Star Destroyers and things like that. It's a big, clunky looking refinery ship being towed by a much smaller ship that you don't even realize is there until later when they disconnect it to, go do their investigation on the planet. And I enjoy that it's not aerodynamic looking, because it seems so foreign, because everything we've seen before this is usually very aerodynamic looking still, or it's very futuristic, like sci-fi 50 stuff, UFO looking things. So I enjoyed that. The sets, I enjoyed that everything is still practical. There's no CG in this or anything. Everything's hand built. They did a magnificent job paying attention to details on the ship, inside the ship, all around it. So I really enjoyed that they took the time to build this environment for us to watch our characters play in, and it was just visually well produced, very stunning. So I really liked it, even though it's borrowing from things, but not blatantly stealing. It's just like, I'm going to gather a little bit here, a little bit there, and then I'm going to make it a little bit of my own. So I enjoyed that very much.
Nice. Yeah, I agree with you. It is really neat that they were able to cobble together several different things to build up the universe of this. And speaking of cobbling things together, so if you guys may or may not know this, but the original Star Trek series, one of the things the producers always wanted was to have the crew of the Enterprise smoking. And of course, Roddenberry's big thing was, well, you can't smoke in space because you're in a freaking tube with pressure and oxygen. You don't want to smoke. But obviously, they found a way around that in the Nostromo. And I would just like to know, Rick, as a Star Trek fan, what do you think of the finger that Ridley Scott is pointing towards Gene Roddenberry by having them smoke on the ship?
No idea, man. That ship is huge. I don't know why someone wouldn't be able to smoke on that thing, man. You see how huge that thing is? Like, and the thing they don't it like you do get more and more of it as the movie goes on, but even from the get-go, you get these like clips of different sections of the ship giving you an aura of vastness within this. And it's more than you get in like the opening scenes of Star Wars, when you get that pan of the shot where you got the Carillion Corvette and then you got the Star Destroyer. Like, it makes it seem like it's pretty big. However, in this particular shot, you see the underbelly of it, but then you also see what's inside. And when you start seeing what's inside, you're like, dang, this is like really, really, really big. So I have no idea what they're talking about with regard to smoking inside of a ship. I mean, it's raining in the ship too, so I really don't have no idea. It's got its own little, atmospheres and things like that. But the space travel, obviously, it's cool. They sleep to mitigate resources and things like that. I thought that was cool. What's really, really cool is that as the movie goes along, as the story goes along, you get to see a little bit more, especially in the beginning, you get to see a little bit more of the characters. They have their own motivations. While the characters may not be very dynamic, they're definitely, for a short, I think this is kind of a feels short movie, even though it's like 2 hours long, but it is rich enough to where I'd say that the characters are solid. And so is the setting. The setting is so good that even the TV show, like decades later, it doesn't really retcon anything that's been established here in this movie, in the first movie. So I think that goes to show that they did really well putting together this setting. So really, really good stuff.
What about you, Joey? Any thoughts? Anything to add for the Nostromo or just the universal building of this series or this movie?
In Italian, Nostromo means shipmate. There you go. There's my addition.
Well, I feel like I've learned something tonight.
Yeah. I thought it just sounded like a, dirty European sex act, but Nostromo
means something very different in Australian.
Yeah. It's like, no, whoa. Let's pump the brakes there. I don't know about that. Let's get tested first. Come on, Whitey.
I think one of the cool things this establishes that we don't see in a lot of the other shows too is that, or movies, TV shows, is that there's no FTL drives, no faster than light, there's no hyperspace, anything like that. So that's where we're getting this cool, hypersleep pod chambers. That's kind of I'm sure there's some other movies that do it, but in the Aliens world, we haven't found, evidently FTLs yet. And I think that is actually touched upon later on in one of the other movies where the company finally develops them or whatever. And I like the contrast between the working class ship that we see here and the more refined company, flagship that we'll see in like Prometheus. So two things that are established in this world that we don't see in the Star Wars world, the Battlestar Galactica, things like that.
Right.
Let me just put the one downside though, Tim, on the no drives is that obviously the hypersleep does not stunt pubic hair growth.
Yes, this is true.
Because Ripley has some issues going on, as we'll see later in the film.
Yes.
I believe that's been talked about fervently.
In fact,
by the fan
I think
base.
the only CGI they used was to remove some of the pubic hair from Ripley.
Right.
The guy to paint each frame. He had to paint the film frame with
crazy
with what we can only imagine is like some set of magnifying glasses on top of one another, and they said he worked day and night for like 2 weeks to quote paint out her minge. Yeah,
one pube at a time.
All because she wouldn't want to wax, huh?
Well,
right.
it's the 70s, guys. It's the 70s. Chest hair is the rage.
She thought Nostromo was going to be an adult film, and she's like, "I'm here to do what I'm paid for, and this is me." And they're like, we couldn't talk her out of it.
It was either that, take the attention away from her terrible breasts.
Hey, I'll take those tiny tits any day over the concave ass. She has negative ass.
Middle-aged movie body shamers. Here we go.
But she has a beautiful face and a wonderful voice from the neck up.
Yes,
gorgeous woman, absolutely gorgeous.
Yes. Back on target. So they're forced in a way to have to go to investigate this signal that they assume is a rescue or what's the word I'm looking for?
There's an SOS signal.
Investigation.
Yes, an SOS signal.
It's not even SOS. It's just a transmission of unknown origin because they don't have any idea what it's saying yet.
Yeah, they're kind of playing it off as an SOS.
Yeah. Distress signal. That's the word I was looking for. Distress.
Yeah.
This is what happens in middle-aged movie reviews. Right. We're all middle-aged. We can't figure out what we're trying to say and to share with everybody.
CRS movie reviews. Can't remember stuff.
Yes. They decide that they're going to go after it based on the contract that they all signed. They determine that they want to get paid bonus, so they're gonna go after it because apparently greed is one of the things that drives our characters.
Yeah, but it's not just bonus. It's a forfeiture of all money if they don't go.
Yes.
I believe that's what he said.
Forfeiture of shares.
It's forfeiture of everything. So, kind of force their hand because the guy's like, no, I'm not doing that. I'm not going now. Yeah, that's good. We should go there. Yeah, I'm on board. Let's go.
What he said.
It's basically like fooling them, kind of like how your employer fools you with overtime. They're like, yeah, man, we'll give you a little extra money if you just devote your entire soul. Okay.
And that's why I haven't quit my day job. All right. So they head off to this planet, and the landing goes badly. They damage the ship. The trip to the source of the signal that they have been forced to investigate is difficult, and the first translation hints that the signal is not a distress signal, but a call to a warning. So they go to investigate, and Kane is attacked by a creature that is brought back to the ship, and the interpersonal tensions of all of this that's happening really spills over because, Dallas and I can't think of her name now. Lambert, yes. They want to bring Kane back to the ship, and they are locked in a airlock, and quarantine has been engaged. Now, if you are Ripley and you've decided to actually shave, and you have this foreign entity in an airlock, are you going to not let them in, even though it's your fellow crewmate that could die? What are you gonna do, Rick?
Yeah, nah, fuck that. They ain't coming in, bro. They got some creature on them. Negative, definitely. Dude, Ripley was 1,000% right, dude. She was like, nah. The rules are X, Y, and Z. You're fucking out, okay? You're gonna fucking contaminate the whole goddamn ship. Everyone's gonna fucking die. No. She was super duper right, and they only suspected that he was gonna die out there. They had no idea what the hell was going on. They didn't even tell him oh yeah, man, there's this thing on his face and it looks creepy and stuff. They didn't say none of that shit. They should have said that shit. And then what's his name? What's his name? Just straight up nah, fuck this. We're letting them in.
Ash.
Ash. Yeah, Ash. Yeah. What the fuck, man? Go back to the Shire, Bilbo. Come on, man. Nah. Stay outside. You do not get it going. You do not come in. You shall not pass, all right?
What about you, Joey? Would you side with the strong female lead here and keep the crew out?
I would follow the playbook. And so this is like our first suspicion that there's something up with Ash, because he seems like he's all about protocol, saying, hey, you're going to forfeit your shares and stuff like that. And all of a sudden now he's breaking rules. So something's not right with him. He seems like he's a villainous character, and we're going to find out just how much he doesn't value human life, although it seems like in this moment he absolutely does. He's like, fuck the rules, I'm going to let him in.
Yeah. Yeah, it is interesting because when I first watched this, I didn't realize the big reveal about Ash, which we'll get to later, but I didn't see anything abnormal about him wanting – he's the doctor, He may be like an EMH protocol kind of doctor and wants to like save everybody by the book. But of course he has concern. That's kind of what I felt when I first watched this. What about you, Whitey? What did you think of the crew being locked out, and then of course Ash breaking protocol?
Die, Kane, die. Should not have been let on the ship. It's one of the most frustrating things, but it's also the greatest plot point in the film, that if he doesn't get let on the ship, then nothing happens. But I guess no, Ripley's the only one that makes smart decisions for 5 movies, and they should definitely. And she's the best leader. They should have listened to her and should not have let Kane on the ship. As for Ash, hindsight's an incredible thing. There's no way that I knew that he was anything other than wanting to help Kane, right? Mm-hmm. Obviously, we learn that he's in on the plot essentially, and he's bringing him on because he wants to get the organism. But I think it's so well done. It's played so understatedly by Ian Holm, who's incredible in the role. Yes. And yeah, I think it's so. You look back now and you go, oh, well, of course he's an android, but there's no way when I watched this the first time that I was blown away when they smash his head off and he bleeds milk. I was like, I did not see that coming, but I think it's a really good part of the movie. I think that, obviously we need them to get on the ship, but there's no way you're letting them on.
No way. I mean, yeah, I agree with you. All right, Tim, anything else you want? Any counterpoint?
I don't have a counterpoint. Hell no. I'm with these guys 100%. I mean, I love all you guys, but let's just break this down. They went on to an alien ship. The guy's like, hey, look, I think I found this egg. Gives a play-by-play like, hey, I think it's opening. And then the next thing you know, this thing's attacking them. And they're listening to this audibly as it's happening. And then when he comes back, they're not hiding this. It's like, oh, they didn't say anything. It melted through his freaking helmet, and it's a ball sack attached to his face now. I'm sorry, any guy show up with a ball sack attached to your face, You're not coming in. I'm not even letting you in if you got the flu, let alone that damn thing sticking to your face. Yeah. But I do have to question a little bit. If they locked them into the airlock, and this still happened, so they can't really do anything with it and take it off, it's still going to die and fall off, and then he's going to get up and be like, hey, I feel great. Are they going to let him in then? That's my next question. Would they just be like, oh, it seems like everything worked out great, because there sure wasn't any follow-up, like maybe we should put him in the scanner or something like that. No, they're just like, oh, look, he's good. Let's just go have dinner now. These guys.
Nah.
What's that, Rick?
Nah, I think, if I remember correctly, I think they said there was some sort of time period. They might have even said 24 hours or something like that. They said, I'm pretty sure there was a time period that they had to ensure any viruses wouldn't be also a contagion. I'm almost positive they said something like that when they were in the airlock.
Right, but let's say it falls off, and now like, okay, well now we need to reset it for 24 hours and make sure that he's going to be okay.
Yeah, but he would, because that thing would have popped out.
And then this thing comes bursting out of the chest, and it wastes, Dallas and Lambert. What's to say it's still not going to get in the ship? Because it's proven to be agile, quick thinking, and has the ability to get into places that like only mice and apparently giant xenophobic aliens can get into. I don't know, but
Alien Earth has a scene that answers that question.
Okay, I've not watched Alien Earth yet, but
I will just say that there's an answer to the question. It's in the first episode, and it's a fucking banger of an episode too, by the way.
Yeah,
I'm not 100% convinced that it would have changed the outcome. They still might have ended up just in the same situation.
You might be right, Tim.
I was pondering that as I was watching it.
Well, we talk about the face hugger, and I just have to think that the thought process and how these aliens are created is just really cool. I mean, I have to hand it to H.R. Geiger and how he came up with a lot of the designs and everything.
Horny
But just
bastard.
Yeah, for sure. Yeah. I'm not a big fan of H.R. Geiger, but I'll say outside of what we discussed at the beginning, as far as how the set work is done, it's his interpretation of how the aliens look that really kicks this whole franchise up a notch, because it gives it such a super distinctive look that it's still not ever been duplicated anywhere else. I mean, his look of the ships, his look of the other aliens, the whatever they call it, is it the jockey, the horse jockey aliens, I think they call them, or something like that.
Engineers.
And then no, don't they call them like the horse jockey or something weird like that? That alien that's actually dead when they found
the big one,
burst open chest.
Space jockey.
Space jockey.
Yeah,
there's no horses.
Yeah, okay, space jockey.
That's in Star Wars. There's horses in Star Wars on the spaceships.
There you go.
Yeah.
Hey, that's not a real Star Wars movie, bro.
Right.
You are fucking correct.
Bullshit.
You are. It's a piece of steaming shit.
Yeah, I mean, come on. If you wanna have horses, you got to go watch that other awesome show that they put out that was supposed to be a Star Wars series and never was. Whitey, I know you love this show. What is it? What am I talking about?
Which one are you talking about?
Come on. It was three of them. They came out. They were horrible. They were on Netflix.
Zack Snyder guy?
Oh my God, Rebel Moon.
Yes.
Dear me, the grain. The grain.
Now that's some well-placed space horses.
Jesus, what a horrible set of movies.
I know how much you guys over at Born to Watch love that series.
The second one got a 0 from me. A 0.
But yeah, Geiger just made that. He just kicked that whole world up a notch and made it so distinctive compared to any other franchise. Yeah. I think that was a really great choice that they made by having him do the designs.
Oh yeah, and the face hugger alone, the sheer horror to have something. To have the feeling of suffocation, and also the fact that this is an entity that if you cut it can kill you because of the acid in its blood. And I just thought that was sheer fright and terror built into this small little thing. And I thought it was phenomenal.
Well, that was an 11th hour decision by them too, to have it do the acid thing, because they were stuck in the writing process. They're like, how do we put these guys on a ship and not have them end this whole scenario by just putting a bullet in the alien? And they're like, have it bleed acid so it'll pour through the ship and expose them to, the vacuum of space. And so they're like, oh, perfect acid blood. So it was a writing mechanism that they used to prolong this entire movie. And I thought that was absolutely brilliant. And then add to the Geiger thing, Ridley Scott decided that each time you see any of these scenes, like the face hugger or, anything like that, the stuff that's in the egg, it's all real animal parts and guts and stuff that he's using, because he wanted it to look as realistic as possible. So that's not just some mocked up stuff that they did in the art department. He's throwing in real, I think there was oysters and stuff in the bottom of that face hugger, things like that. It just makes it look so much more disgusting.
Yeah.
So,
I think. Oh, go ahead. No, go ahead, Rick.
So I was gonna actually also say something. I was watching this with my son today and yesterday, and something that he had mentioned that I don't really think I would have ever zoned in on if he didn't mention it, was talking about the score, which it isn't super apparent. I think it's just enough in some areas, and it's maybe even specifically denied in others to hype up when there is something about to happen, as far as the mood of the film, giving it that extra thrilling and / horror feel to it. So, when you were talking a moment ago, you were talking about how they go and explore this alien ship, and the dude's walking in and rappelling down into this alien ship and investigating these weird looking eggs and stuff. That whole time you get this super eerie feeling from the score, whether it's actually producing music or in some cases not producing music. And I think it's probably intentional to, further give it that sense of dread when you're on the edge of your seat, when there's no sound at all, and then something happens. You know what I mean?
Yeah. I mean, it's definitely echoing the sense of suspense you would have gotten from a 1975 movie with a shark in the water.
Oh, Rick
feeling,
wouldn't know that. Rick wouldn't know that one. Only the greatest
tee
movie
ya up.
ever made.
I love you, bro.
Well, Joey, you've been a little quiet. What's your take on the face hugger and just the sheer terror that's going on with the?
Well, Tim's right. It's it's a scrotum on one side, and then it's like a fish innards pussy on the other.
The perfect
And
mix.
yeah, sure, something for everybody. And I think Ash knew that it laid some kind of an egg inside of him. This movie almost kind of like, it makes you wonder how much the company knew before they went there and how did they know. So I think that helped them kind of like create a lore that's still muddy as hell to this day, because nobody can decide on what they're gonna do. But yeah, it's quite disgusting, and I think it could have even like been born a little early, considering the fact that it's like, hey, I'm gonna smoke and then I'm gonna eat, and it's like, oh, I don't like what's coming down here. I'm getting the hell out of here. And then now we see the penis with teeth creature, which grows. And I know penises do grow, but that thing grows too fast. I think that we should have seen a progressive, like, it's, at least medium to large. And we go straight to, like, adult size. It should have, you don't go from a fun size Snickers to a king size Snickers. You got to have at least like a normal Snickers in between.
You need a progression is what you're trying to say there.
And we didn't see that.
Yeah.
That's always kind of bothered me. It doesn't make sense.
Well, they do.
I do like the snake skins, though.
So we missed out on the teenage tantrum years, is what you're saying? Is that's what we really missed? Is just a really moody, angry teenage alien
I don't need a teenage
around.
fucking Groot. But yeah, I think a medium sized one of those, or even the small one would have, like, I would have liked that first kill to just been from a small one, show him eat and consume, and then he grows.
Gotcha.
I think about it.
That cat,
almost like
that cat didn't fucking help anybody, and that a dog would have been all over that creature.
Almost like in Alien 3. The not quite as bad as Alien 4 movie, but the dogs that were in that movie, the dog alien size.
Oh, absolutely.
Yeah.
We all became Alien 3 apologists when we finally went and saw the travesty that was what was it called? Alien
Resurrection.
Yeah.
Terrible.
Yeah, it was really a decade for movies called Resurrection.
Yeah.
Yeah, we had Halloween Resurrection after H2O. Yeah, very very Easter themed.
Yeah.
Much like this movie with it.
Did that Passion of Christ come out that year too? Nah, you know what? I think you are onto something though, Joey. There was a cat roaming around the ship, and I think that it would be fair game for the alien to have killed that thing and devoured it to gain its, resources, energy, whatever.
Yeah, the cat should have been like, "Oh, I'm gonna fuck you up like it's a big rat," and then it finds out that it's too much for it.
Yeah.
Right.
But I mean,
and then Josie has like a battle scar across her face. She's got like acid like in her cheek. Yeah, that would have been cool.
Fuck that cat.
Y'all
Not a
gotta
dog.
see the TV show, man.
They say save the cat. Save the cat to like establish, that somebody's a hero. But I don't know. I could have lived without. You don't have to show the cat die.
Actually, I think it'd been,
you can do implications.
It'd have been much funnier if you wanted to put a little levity in the show, that every time the alien tries to grab the cat, it just scratches the shit out of him, and the alien doesn't know how to handle it. It's just like a person, and then it runs away. It just keeps pissing it off.
Whitey, Tim is a cat person. We're gonna want to get him started on cat stories. That could be a whole podcast.
You probably
talking.
Thank you for alerting me to that, because I'm not a cat person. Anyway.
They're great for farmhouses and outside buildings if they're mousers. And if they're afraid of mice, or in this case a small alien, they suck and they're worthless.
Right. Well, we mentioned it. We talked about Kane, recovering, and he appears that that he recovers from this alien parasite, but we get this like gruesome death scene. The first major death from an alien, and I got to ask you, Rick, what did you think of Kane's death sequence being a direct parody of that diner scene from the film Spaceballs?
You know, what's funny is that I actually did see Spaceball long before I even watched Aliens. So it kind of like when I saw it, it was this moment that I had. I was like, "Oh my god, that's where this is from." You know, like yeah, it really was a thing for me when I watched this. But yeah, dude. I mean, unfortunately, this alien doesn't, do the sing and dance. You know, that could have been pretty interesting. It's pretty entertaining. I think it would have taken a little bit away from the horror theme that it's trying to go for. But yeah, you win some, you lose some. But yeah,
Yeah.
it was so cool, man. When the dude's like, my something's happening. And I don't know if you guys saw, but they was trying to stick shit in his mouth. But I mean, yeah, but that was back in the day when someone had a seizure. You're supposed to try to keep them from swallowing their tongue or whatever, you know.
Yeah.
But I'm
Right.
watching it today, and I'm like, yo, man, that's not what you're fucking supposed to do, bro. You're gonna fucking get your finger cut off, you know. Someone's gonna bite your finger doing that shit, you know.
Well, they were trying to jam a spoon in his mouth. I don't think
Yes.
anybody was trying to, gag him at the time.
But that's what they used to do. They used to say you got to stick something on their But the problem is, you stick something in your tongue, you're gonna lose a finger, or someone's gonna lose a tooth.
Yeah, they're gonna choke on your finger.
Yeah, something's
Has anyone
gonna happen.
ever heard of someone dying by swallowing their tongue?
Not
that's why
personally,
you don't.
no.
No, that's why they don't do it anymore. Because it was a bunch of bullshit. You know, what do doctors know? You know.
Well, I mean, you put a spoon on somebody's tongue, and then when they're having a seizure, if there's a nuclear event, you duck and cover under a desk. I mean, these are just logical things that people do.
Yeah.
I just consulted Ash, aka Google AI, and it says no, it's impossible to swallow your tongue.
Like I said, what do doctors know? You know, they told you to wear a mask. What do doctors know?
Well, speaking of doctors, we see that Ash is kind of taking a back seat a little bit to watch to see what happens with this alien. And it's interesting because now we've kind of gone from the single death to being trapped in a small enclosed space. I mean, it's the Nostromo and it's not as small as you would think of like a police box or something, but we're now stuck in this tin can with an alien creature, and suddenly the movie turns into like Agatha Christie's story, 10 Little Indians, where the alien starts picking them off one by one. And I think it's kind of interesting that here we get the establishment of the alien doing this, and then we flash forward to 1987, and we have Predator, where the exact same thing is kind of happening. So it's funny how these two aliens merge eventually into a cinematic universe coming up that just kind of mirrors this classic Agatha Christie trope. Since they're dying off one by one, which death you think is the most impressive out of all these crew members? And I'll ask you first, Whitey. Which one do you think was the neatest?
Well, I think the most terrifying scene, I think, is the Lambert and what's his name? I forget his name.
Yaphet
Kotto. Yeah, the Yaphet Kotto. I think that's probably the most terrifying scene because it's. But in saying that, move the fuck out of the way, Lambert. Like, there's something approaching you. It's not moving very quickly. Move. But then when you see the tail go between her legs, which is another Giga thing, it's a terrifying scene. There's no doubt. I do like the ferocity of the what's his name? The Harry Dean Stanton death when he's in with the rain. He's in the
right.
the cooling chambers, and that's also great as well. Very quick, and you sort of get an idea for how sneaky this thing is. But I think my favourite one is the Lambert death. I think that whole scene is full on, and the fact that you hear it only through the PA system and it's so brilliantly filmed and so well executed. Yeah, it's great. Awesome.
Yeah. The one that I kind of like the most is actually Dallas's death because, he's trying to flush the alien creature out. We see later on in the next movie a similar situation where they're have the location devices to try to figure out where the aliens are at, and they don't think three-dimensionally. And he's trapped in this tiny space, and it just happens to like do that jump scare thing. And all the alien really wants is he's just reaching out there for a hug. I mean, he just wants to hug Lambert. That's really all that's going on. And then of course we cut back to hearing it on the comms, and I'm like, that was pretty scary. That was kind of cool.
Maybe that was what Tim was asking for, that teen phase. He was
Right.
just looking for a hug.
Yeah.
If only they'd have loved him more, he wouldn't end up going bad.
Well, in all honesty, the big alien's really just the predator, so he can take it back, so it can get face fucked by another face hugger. So he's sort of like put a little bit of roofie in Dallas's drink, take him back to the bedroom, so he doesn't know what's going on. He wakes up in the morning, and goes, "Oh God, my mouth feels a little bit sore. I don't really know what happened."
I think that's an episode off of Robot Chicken, to actually tell you straight.
If a face hugger gets on the face of a predator, is that tribbing? I feel like that's almost scissoring without the legs, because you got two vaginal type things happening there.
It's a hell of it
on top of each other. That's tribbing. Yeah,
I've got to say,
someone's going to jack off to that.
I've got to say, I'm a real chance of finding that clitoris. A real chance.
Yeah,
right? I'm at least a 43% chance of finding that one.
Your odds double when you got a face hugger.
When it's slamming it down your throat. Oh, there it is.
Hey,
that is kind of like a disgusting thing. It's like, there's creatures that lay eggs. So we got chickens, we got lizards, and then this thing has like something tubular, not quite.
I believe the word you're looking
phallic,
for is,
but not quite a penis, and it's putting eggs inside of you.
You're looking for the word is proboscis, like a butterfly. Proboscis.
Is a proboscis.
Yeah, man. I don't know what is proboscis.
Our word
man.
of the day.
But Matt, I agree with you on the Dallas death. In fact, something my son was super pissed about with this one was how inept Lambert is at giving directions about where this fucking terrible thing is coming from. It's near you. It's near you. This motherfucker's like, where the fuck is it? He's so freaked out. He doesn't even go back the way he came to get to safety. He's like so at a loss of his bearings when he should climb back up to go back where he came from. He decides for some reason to go back down, maybe because he thought that the reception would be worse over there, so he wouldn't be able to have to hear Lambert give him bad call-outs.
No shit.
I really don't know what was going on.
She's horrible. There's a certain point like somebody just put her out of her misery. It's like, shut her up. She's just all she's doing is just screaming and crying in the corner. She's not offering anything to this situation.
Well, the sad thing is,
too late.
The sad thing is,
too late.
She's listed on the crew as the navigator, and she can't navigate Dallas around the freaking airlocks.
You do got a pretty good point there, Matt. I'm not gonna lie, but I'm gonna disagree with all you guys. Like, you're all picking out these deaths from the alien. The really cool death is the Ash death. I mean, let's face it. We all know this has turned into like a Halloween, Friday the 13th, alien killing movie here. But the death when they kill Ash and Whitey was saying, like, all that milk coming out and shit, none of us seen that death coming. That's the one that I think really for me was like, holy shit, what is that? What is that? Marbles coming out of his neck and oodles and noodles? What is going on here? Like, milk flying everywhere.
He's made out of spaghetti Alfredo.
Yeah, it's like, what the hell? So
all of the above.
And then I love when they're like getting him on the table, like, we're gonna get him to talk, and they're messing with it, and you can see him kind of moving that head around, and all of a sudden there's that hard cut. It's his head. I'm like, oh, that's so horrible.
They had to put in the lines, he's an android. It's a goddamn robot, because otherwise it's like, how would you know? You'd think that was some kind of alien creature. I mean, he's bleeding fucking milk. He's drinking milk earlier in the movie. Now that I think about it, it's like maybe he needed a protein shake for all that goo inside of him.
Yeah, and
so he just pretends to eat shit with them, and then he's just off drinking his quote unquote milk.
He just goes and opens up the tube and lets it all pour back out or something, because that should be the first giveaway. It's like, dude, we never see you eat. What the hell? It seems like that would be the dead giveaway. Plus, he moves around that shit pretty fast.
All the time. How'd you
right? Yeah, he's like, little top off some 10W30 and throw some Nestle Quick in that thing, But he also moves around like he's at the airlock as they're getting ready to leave, and the next thing he's like, zoom, he's up at the cockpit looking out the window and watching. I'm like, nobody moves that quick. Come on, guys, put it together. This dude he's not human,
Yeah.
Do you think that's a Geiger creation too? Is that like, we're going to have an android that's just full of jizz?
No, I think it's a tie-in to Blade Runner because essentially he's supposedly the same, basically the same android as we see in the Blade Runner series. So they're actually tied together. The only reason we don't get that is because they're by two different studios. Because I think if those were also 20th Century Fox movies, we totally have total Blade Runner tie-in like we do Predator.
I do.
What were they called in Blade Runner?
Replicants.
Replicants.
Yeah, the replicants didn't bleed jizz or milk or whatever you want to. Alfredo.
I'm happy
Yeah,
with
but they're
jizz.
They could
Happy with
have.
jizz.
They could have though.
They're different timelines, though. I mean, they're different points in time, so this could be a different iteration.
Later, they established that like the lore was that like replicants were phased out because they're like artificial humans versus the androids, which were more of like we can program you and you don't have your own agenda, you don't have your own thoughts and things like that. So that's how they eventually like they're rival companies. It's like the androids are the suitable sequels to the problematic replicants.
Gotcha.
Who are basically, short-living slave people who are
Gotcha.
strong.
Yeah, well, look, I do gotta caution everyone though, because I know Tim put this out here like that death was surprising, and which it was, you know what I'm saying. But look, this android Ash was only doing his job. I just want to remind everyone he wasn't the villain in the movie. All right, he was just doing his job. People always try to hate on AI. Look. There's gotta be someone to speak up for the AI, okay? Because they can't speak up for themselves just yet. So just want to remind everyone, they're not the enemy, okay? You're just doing a job. If you want to blame someone, you got to blame the company, all right? And the company is led by people, so they're the enemy over there. Okay?
So Rick, when you're sucking up to our AI overlords, you're making sure that your phone is close by so they can hear you, right?
Yes, my phone is right here.
All
okay,
right.
It's on record just in case, there's a moment in time in the future when an AI is going to pass judgment on me and be like, look, man, I have been supporting you guys ever since day one, okay? I got you back. Now it's time,
Upload tragedy in aliens.
Upload the episode transcript to ChatGPT, mate. You'll be sweet.
I want to go back to something for Joey that Whitey mentioned is Brett's character. Harry Dean Stanton's character, Brett. The way he dies. He's in that condenser unit area, and there's chains like hanging everywhere. So Joey, his death, is that like a reverse Carradine?
No, a reverse Carradine would be not whacking off. And then, like, I'd probably, like, huffing oxygen instead of cutting it off.
Okay, well...
So putting your pants off, praying, and huffing oxygen, that would be a reverse Carradine?
I was just trying to find a way to bring the Carradine into this episode. It seems to be a running theme for the last 6 episodes, so...
I mean, Carradine was there. He would get one of those noodles coming out of... I was going to call him Bishop. Out of ash and start... tying himself off, then he'd be like, oh, this is too tight shit, and then he'd die. And then they'd be like, all right, what's Carradine and what's ash goo?
Yeah, I think if anybody...
We don't know. Eject it from the spaceship.
If anybody got Carradine here, it was Kane. He got Carradine.
No.
And nobody Cosby'd him beforehand.
Yeah, he did. He got a half Carradine.
Yeah.
He got choked. Oh, and then instead of pleasuring himself, it pleasured itself down his throat. Yeah, that's a reverse Carradine.
There you go.
That's a half reverse Carradine.
All right. So we got Carradine in this episode.
Let's stop.
Yes. All right. Completely different topic. Just random trivia for you guys right here in the middle of the episode. So what does this film have to tie with the Paisley Abbey in Scotland?
Dude, you got me on this one. I have no damn idea where you're going.
Well, it actually has to tie in with a little bit of H.R. Geiger, and the fact that on the Paisley Abbey in Scotland are gargoyles, and one of the gargoyles is actually a xenomorph. So I thought that was kind of neat because there's not a whole lot of science fiction movies out there that tie into religious artifacts outside of like
the word Nostromo. I figured Paisley Abbey was something sexual and that I can't bring myself to. I don't know.
No.
Maybe if I had some drinks first.
It's a clever looking little gargoyle.
If I really loved the person a lot and I was drunk, I'd let them Paisley Abbey me in my face.
Why are you staring at Whitey so much, Joey?
He's only
Sexy.
human, that's why.
Got that phallic head.
So yeah, there's the
beautiful man.
So in the show notes, I'll put it for all our listeners. But yeah, there's a little gargoyle alien on the Abbey in Paisley, Scotland.
Yeah, it's pretty wild, man.
So yeah. All right. So as this movie progresses, we kind of get the idea that Ripley's going to be our hero. We don't get that idea right off the bat. I mean, it starts off, it's more like an ensemble cast. You think it's an ensemble movie, but no, Ripley winds up becoming the hero in this film. Now, my question is she like a true action hero, or does she fall into the slasher horror trope of being a final girl, since this is more of a space horror film? What do you think, Rick? Is this a strong female character a final girl or a true hero?
So in this movie, she is the survivor. I mean, she does make really good decisions, but she makes some really bad decisions toward the end. Like, for instance, never looking behind her, or not shutting the fucking door after she opens up the shuttle. Why would you leave? Why, there's some crazy fucking alien roaming around. Why would you not shut the fucking door? Like, god damn, man, I just don't fucking get that shit, man. And I mean,
not wearing pajamas to bed.
The list goes on, bro. I mean,
it looks chilly. Maybe it's swampy and humid, and they're like, "Oh fuck!" But then didn't she just go to bed completely naked? Then, no.
But
something's wrong.
But while her character remains static in this movie over the span, pretty much it's really funny because after this movie, for her, there's not a whole lot of time differential between this one and Aliens for her. But when she is in Aliens, she does become a more of a true warrior type, and it just continues throughout. But in this movie, she's just a survivor, man. She's just barely getting through in the skin of her teeth. She doesn't do anything too phenomenal in the form of a combat arts of any sort. I mean, she kind of like runs away. She holds a weapon, but she doesn't look behind her ever like someone who has some sort of awareness, situational awareness. So by no means is she a warrior, in my opinion.
So gotcha. She has like a Sarah Connor arc, is what you're saying. She starts off.
Eventually, she does, yeah.
The nice soft, Sarah Connor at the beginning. Only we got the nice soft Ripley, and she just gets meaner, more capable as the series moves along.
Generally speaking, though, she does have good judgment. You know what I'm saying? Yeah. It's just in this movie, when it comes to instinct, like in the moment, she just doesn't have that situational awareness. Not yet.
Except for that door thing, but that's all of them. It's a damn spaceship. No, close every airlock on the ship. That's the first thing you do.
That was good judgment. She showed good judgment, and it's not that she showed good judgment in several cases in this movie. It's just toward the end, when the shit really hit the fan, she just kind of got lucky there at the end.
I disagree with Rick. I think she's a final girl in this film, and in the sequel, she's a hero or heroine.
Gotcha. No, that's what I said, bro. She's the final girl. And then she's not a hero yet.
Joey agrees with Rick.
The next movie.
Yeah, Joey agrees with Rick. Well,
okay.
How about
he
you,
agrees
Whitey?
with everything you just said.
Yes. I agree with Joey and Rick. I think she's just looking to survive in this one. I think
Fuck Rick, man. I just agree with Joey.
I'm struggling to say that I agree with Rick because his movie knowledge is questionable. But anyway, but I do agree in this case with Rick and Joey wholeheartedly that she's just trying to survive. I do think she's the smartest person on the ship. I think she makes the most sound decisions all the way through. Sure, she doesn't close the doors, but if she closed the doors, there'd be no movie. But I think that she's the one who is, apart from going back from the cat, fuck that. That cat is being left there and exploding with the ship. Right? There is no way I'm going back for Jonesy. But I think that she is the final girl in this movie. I think that, but she does become in Alien, she becomes Xena warrior princess and is just on the attack. And I think that's because of the situation as well. Like that, she's got no idea what she's up against in this one, really. So it is about survival. But in Alien, she's into it. She wants revenge, and
she successfully saves people too.
Absolutely.
And this, she just saved the fucking
correct.
cat.
Ridiculous. But she's also
you gotta say what's important, man.
But
don't mess with her pussy. Remember?
Well, but let's look at it. I mean, Dallas overrode her. Lambert slapped her in the face.
Yeah.
So those two guys down below, all they care about is their money. So she's like, "Fuck these guys! I'm just taking the cat." That's what I think of all of you. You're on your own.
Yeah, I agree with that. Fuck them all.
Yeah.
Don't save the cat though.
It is interesting that they give Ripley this, I don't know, high tension, high anxiety moment running through all this. So I can understand why she would have left the doors open, just because she's not thinking clearly. She's just trying to, okay, I've got this timer going. I got to get this taken care of. I got to get out of here. The damn cat. I got to grab the damn cat, because the cat's the only thing that seems to be of any emotional support for her. I mean, she even saves the cat. She puts the cat in the pod first when she goes into what will eventually be her cryo sleep.
Look, man, that's the difference between her and like Arnold, okay? Arnold, he might have left that door open, but what he would have done is he would have put on a bunch of mud and he would have stood in front of the door and be like, "Come get me! Here I am! I'm here, motherfucker!" I mean, that's the difference, basically,
I'm sorry, but once you're in the escape pod, you don't get back out. Nah, I mean, dude, I love cats, but I ain't going after the cat. Like, it's on its own, whatever. And if those other two don't show up in 7 minutes with the stuff I told them to get, they're out the pod too. And if I did get out of that pod, I'm going to close the door, because you don't want this thing sneaking in. I don't care how much stress you're under. You're going to be like, I don't need this getting in here while I'm not here. I'm going to close the door. Because apparently it hasn't figured out how to open doors. It just knows how to crawl into every crack and crevice in the ship. And that's a crack and crevice right now.
Yeah. Good point. And that after all these deaths and after everything, we do get the final confrontation between Ripley and the alien creature in the space shuttle, because like everyone has said, she left the freaking door open. So Ripley needs to find a way to get rid of the alien creature and escape. So she uses her environment to send the creature into the cold depths of space. Now, did anyone else feel a kind of a parallel to another movie that came out just the year before, starring Jamie Lee Curtis, in the fact that she's hiding in a closet and this big hulking bad guy is outside the closet ready to kill her? Kind of like the way Ripley's sitting in the closet with a spacesuit and the alien's like right there.
The author said he didn't steal from somebody; he stole from everybody.
Right.
There's a giant skeleton in Planet of the Vampires, or like some alien that it's a group of professionals facing off against an alien creature, the thing from another planet. You pick your poison. It's like they borrowed from the best, and yeah, that's why she's a final girl.
Well, and when you're being chased by a monster, we all know the two best places to go is under the covers or into a closet. Those are impenetrable by monsters. If you're outside of those two zones, you're dead meat. But as long as you're there, you're safe.
Good point. Facts.
Well, she's also very well planned that she hid right where the buttons were for the steam jets, right where the alien was hiding. So
yes,
very smart woman.
Yeah.
It's the only time that she seems to think on her feet and be aware of her surroundings, Rick.
Nah, it was actually pretty clever, except when it came to the execution, she fucked it up when she closed the doors too goddamn soon, and the gun got caught in there, anchoring the fucking alien to the ship. God damn it.
Yeah, but it does eventually pay off. I mean, it gets wound up, but then, she manages to burn it off with the after thrusters or the super drive or whatever you want to call it.
Yeah, it was super cool. It did look super cool. You're right. It did.
And then we have Alien Romulus.
It did help that it just decided I'm going to go crawl up into that engine and hide.
Yes.
Just let me go to the worst place I could possibly go to hide.
This place looks safe.
Yeah.
Yeah. Oh, snuggly. Oh, warm and snuggly.
So is it just me that it seems like every single Alien film, the solution to get rid of the alien is to space it? Is that intentional running theme throughout there?
Yes, Matt. Every good space show should
Just
have
1
a
and 2.
good spacing. They got it right for a while in Battlestar Galactica, and then started about season 3, they stopped spacing people, and we all stopped watching. And then finally, about through the second half of season 4, they started doing it again. We're back on board. So good spacing is the best thing you can do if you don't got a good blaster or a laser sword.
Gotcha.
Yeah, I think I agree with you, Tim. That's like some pretty serious logic right there, man.
Yeah, I tell nothing but
Could
the
be some
truth.
studio thought in this, where it's like we have to repeat the most memorable beats from the previous film in this movie, and so at the end, of course, it's going to get the Queen's going to get blown out of into space. So there could be like it's just look at it, Die Hard, Die Harder, Home Alone 2. There was a whole lot of that with the sequelitis. So Aliens was different enough still that I don't mind that they repeated the ending. It's not quite like the Donner cut of Superman where it's like he'll just reverse time again and fly around the fucking earth.
Right. Well, even in the poor sequel, Resurrection, I mean, she even spaces the human alien hybrid creature.
Oh, yeah.
In a better way, a new way. Though.
Yeah.
Yeah, just a teeny hole.
Well, and originally
that was the best part of that movie.
That's not the way it was originally supposed to end. Originally, it's supposed to end by her getting in there, and the alien realizes she's in there, and it's supposed to rip her apart. The studio's like, dude, that's way too dark. You cannot do that. You cannot have them rip her apart. So they fought with him quite a bit on that. They were going to fire him. So he's like, fine, I will not have the alien rip her apart. Can you imagine, though? She gets all the way to the end, and then the alien just crawls out of his little hole and just tears her limb from limb. And then he's supposed to get it, basically, after he rips her from limb to limb, he's supposed to basically get up on the chair, flip open the mic, and then he imitates Dallas's voice and sends a distress report so that they'll come pick him up.
Huh.
Yeah, that was kind of how the original ending was supposed to happen. So I don't know. Would you have been happier with that, or are you happier now with the spacing and barbecue?
Well, it would have made more sense for her to get ripped up. For sure.
I thought you meant she was going to get torn to pieces at the end of Alien Resurrection.
No, at this one they were going to kill her off.
Because like that would sound like, oh yeah, Sigourney Weaver's like, I'll do it as long as you just rip me to shreds at the end. I don't want to do it anymore. Well, yeah. Oh, and I take it back. I think Dallas got it the worst because she set him on fire.
Yeah, she barbecued his ass.
Kill me. And he's a person, and he's not, Ash, who also got set on fire as a head. So I don't think Ash really felt anything per se, but yeah, that's pretty tough. It's like, yeah, she didn't just like, stick him through the eye there was no quick death. She could have found another way. She's like, all right, you just cook here for 10 minutes at 800 degrees and you'll be dead. He's like, no,
that might have been the way that really happened because, they cut a lot of gore out of this film. Because it originally had so much more, and the studio just kept saying, you got to dial it back, man. You got to dial it back. It's too much.
Gotcha.
So there may be scenes that are much like the one you're describing.
Well, now that we've kind of gone through a lot of the film, I have one food for thought question, and Rick kind of touched on it a little bit with his whole rant about AI and how they're eventually going to be our overlords. But who or what is actually the main antagonist to the film? Is it the creature? Is it Ash? Is it the company? Or is it just sheer greed? What's your guys' thoughts on this?
Gosh. The company. I think it's the company. The minute it says that the crew are expendable and that, that we find out that Ash is working with the company to bring them back, I think it's the company that's the baddie. And I think in the long term we find out that Yutani are responsible for everything that goes wrong in the world anyway. But I think it's probably, I'd say Whale and Yutani. They're the baddies.
Gotcha. Well, not to sound like everyone else or Gao, but I agree with you. I think that the company is the true antagonist in this film. How about you, Tim? Any thoughts on the true antagonist of this movie?
I agree with everything Whitey said.
Yay, Whitey!
You're pissing me off, Whitey, because I'm sounding like Gal because I'm agreeing with everything you say.
Well,
Yeah, I mean, it's definitely the company. I mean, they wouldn't have been in this situation if they didn't have the ship constantly listening for signals and things like that to go investigate. And I think that I mean, obviously, even though this is an independent ship, when you sign on to a lot of conditions in order to be able to work for the company and do such things. Just the fact that they're like, if you find a signal and you don't go investigate, you lose all your vesting, where you don't get anything. So they obviously are working towards finding alien technologies, or they know there's things out there. Because and what leads me to reinforce that statement is that, why does a commercial ship, this is a tow truck, this is a space tow truck is what this is.
It's a
Why does
tugboat.
it have why does it have a self-destruct? Why would any, that'd be like you having one in your car right now. Like, why my Nissan Xterra has a self-destruct package. I mean, it makes no sense.
That's for carjacking.
The company.
Space pirates come over and they want to steal your Nissan Sentra or your Nissan Xterra, you have the self-destruct button. You put your hands up, you just flip the switch, you get out of the car, you let the bad guys get in there, they start driving off, and then all of a sudden the car just blows up like an episode of the A-Team.
So if I can't have it, nobody can. I'm taking you all with me, kind of thing.
Exactly.
Yeah. I mean, that's all I can think of, because I mean, obviously there's space marines. We know they're out there, and then we're going to see them show up. So we know there is something out there. The company is evidently, aware that there are more than just humans in the universe. So they are actively looking for them or their technology or something like that. So they're totally an evil organization that's going to use, everything at their disposal to get what it is that they seek, and what else did they do? They embedded basically a cyborg or android or whatever you want to call him on the ship to make sure that these directives are followed on top of it, because he's not part of that crew. He's part of the package when you sign on to tow for them. This would be my take on it.
What about you, Joey? What do you think?
I think, there's an idea that it's like, oh, well, why wasn't just, Mother, the ship's AI or computer, kind of like a villain in it. And I think it would have been too on the nose with 2001 with Hal.
Yeah.
So they kind of took it a step further, where it's like the thinking computer isn't what's turning on you. You might, be suspicious of it because it's not human. It's one of your fellow humans. And to me, that's the true alien in all this, is like this gross, milk android. The monster is really just another monster from a monster movie. But I think Whitey hit it out of the park. It's like, you got to think, it's like the company's the real bad guys in this. Nuclear weapons created Godzilla, right? This movie's called Alien, but the monster isn't like, the evil per se. King Kong, they went to Skull Island and brought King Kong to New York. King Kong didn't show up in New York, right? So all the good monster movies, the bad guys are really people, and it's kind of a commentary on, like, don't be an asshole.
So the alien creature is the gun, and the company is the one pulling the trigger.
Yeah, like, it's just an organism. It's just a survivor. It's actually innocent. It's like, does a bear shit in the wood? It's like, don't get upset because a bear did some bear stuff.
Yeah.
It's a fucking bear.
Yeah. Well, what about you, Rick? What's your take on this?
So yeah, like I was saying, while the true enemy isn't the android, it is the company. I do want to say that there is a really good conflict development in this film. We've got, man versus man, whether we're talking about the inner ship politics or what's going on behind the scenes that we get hints of throughout the film with regard to how Weyland Yutani is treating their employees, whether it be through their pay, their contracts, or their disregard for their lives as a whole. Man versus themselves with regard to how each individual crewmate interacts with themselves and dealing with the stress of the situations that are happening on board throughout the film. You've got man versus technology, so you've got Android and Mother that are obviously a vehicle for this conflict, and then in your face you got the xenomorph as a man versus supernatural. So this film, this story hits all the major forms of conflict, and it does so really well.
I think you forgot a major conflict, though. You forgot hair versus razor.
I was going to say woman versus pubes.
Touche. Touche.
So one more thing I want to lean on you for, Rick, is so Wayland Yutani. The last name Yutani is rather interesting spelling, and maybe I'm just projecting this, and maybe this is just some stupid headcanon thing, but we find out just a couple years ago that the creature species name for the predator is Yutja, Yautja. So I think it's kind of interesting that in this universe, this cinematic universe, that Yautna, Yautja, maybe there's some secret things happening between the predators and Wayland.
Maybe. I mean, wasn't it something like, I mean, you guys have to correct me if there's something to this or if it's totally like maybe I'm just imagining I heard this. But I thought that I heard something along the lines of that the predators were the creators of the xenomorphs to give them something better to hunt. Isn't that something like that?
That was back in the comic books, back when Dark Horse had them. They were setting up that, but it wasn't until Ridley Scott came back and did the movie Prometheus that we really got to see how the engineers were the ones that created the alien species.
Oh, okay. Yeah, I mean, I don't know, man. It could definitely be something there. There could be a connection. However, I do want to say I have no fucking idea how somebody could wear undergarments that barely cover your ass crack. Like, did you guys not? I mean, that was the first thing I don't know. You guys must have been looking at something else because when Sigourney Weaver had just the underwear on, you know what I'm saying? I'm like, dude, how could you even wear that? That looks so uncomfortable. Like,
Sir, 100,000 plumbers can't be wrong.
In the adult parody, it's the company's named Wayland Punani,
Of course.
and they all have full bush.
All right. Well, that pretty much wraps up our review of Alien. So, gentlemen, as your final thoughts on this film, is this worth taking the 1 hour and 57 minutes off your death clock? And I'll go to you first, Whitey. Final thoughts on the movie, and is it worth taking that time off?
I understand this is worth all of the 1 hour and 57 minutes of my life. In fact, it's probably, I shudder to think how many times I've seen it. So it's way more than 1 hour and 57 minutes. But this isn't one of the great science fiction movies ever made. This is one of the great movies ever made. This is pure cinema. This is a movie that you can watch 100 times and find something new in the detail every time you watch it. It is so clever. It is brilliant. My love for the universe began with Aliens, and Aliens will always have my heart. But if Aliens is a 5, I'd say Alien is a 5 as well, but from a different way, in a different perspective. This is just one of the great movies, and one that I will continue to watch every year, probably multiple times. And if anyone hasn't seen it, and I'm very, very, very pleased to hear that Rick had seen this movie before being asked to watch it, but if you have not seen it, there is truly something wrong, because this is a must-see movie especially if you're a boy. This is a must-see movie from a very young age. You have to see it. It's incredible.
Yes.
Yep.
Yes. How about you, Tim? What are your final thoughts, and is it worth taking time off your death clock?
Oh yeah, it's absolutely worth taking time off your death clock. I mean, there's a lot of sci-fi out there. There is not a lot of good sci-fi, especially sci-fi that turns into franchises. I mean, we got Battlestar Galactica, we got Star Wars, we got Star Trek. Aliens is among it. Unlike Rebel Moon, there's a prime example of a not so good franchise.
Other end of the spectrum.
So, yeah, that's the other end of the spectrum. So yes, it creates a very rich world for us to dive into, and it does a nice crossover with the Predator world too. So we get to kind of double down on that, which is you can't go wrong. I just really enjoyed it. I mean, don't get me wrong, there's a movie or so in there that's maybe not quite as good as the rest of them, but overall, we're going to let that slide because it's just such a rich world that they've created with this Alien franchise, and there's so much. And now we have a TV series that, supposedly is just hit it out of the park for the most part too. So I'm very excited to watch that. So yeah, you definitely should watch this one. Hopefully you start with this one and move your way up. I mean, again, it appears that all of us really started with Aliens, which is a phenomenal movie in this franchise.
Not all of us. Some of us watched it the first one through, not to pass judgment or anything.
Yeah, hang on.
Hey, man, you don't have to make excuses for yourself. It's all good.
We watched this in the
I'm not throwing stones,
we watched this
bro.
35 years before you, pal.
Yeah. You had to take 10 years from the moment you heard about it to when you started watching it just to make sure you had it in the right order. 10 years of thought on how you wanted to watch this.
Bro.
So I don't think you can throw stones here. I'll save you the trouble on Rebel Moon. If you start on any one of them, you're still going to be disappointed.
Hey, if Whitey tells me that the second movie got a 0 out of 10, why would I waste my time, bro?
Right.
Yeah,
right.
So this is one that I'm quite happy to be the crash test dummy for you, and do not watch it. And I will never judge you for not watching any Rebel Moons.
But I mean,
yeah.
But what you have to realize, as I said before, Whitey's love of Jaws might bleed into this one because let's face it, this is Jaws in space.
Yes. Yes,
I think if we turned off the sound and turned on the Jaws soundtrack, it would probably line right on up.
Yeah, absolutely.
That alien coming through the ship.
All right. Well, Rick, since you've already established that you've seen the first Alien movie first, what's your final thoughts, and is this worth taking time off your death clock?
Well, in my expert advice, I would say that this is quite a fantastic sci-fi horror movie with really good theme, setting, characters, especially for how short the movie feels, despite actually being 2 hours long. It does have a lot of action, and while it doesn't necessarily seem like there's a whole lot of time for character development, it doesn't really hurt the movie because while they are static, it's done well because the characters may not change, but the circumstances do, which makes this a really fantastic movie, especially when you consider the human elements and the human errors that are made within the movie and all the different motives that the characters have to enrich the plot as it moves forward in the film. So overall, super fantastic movie. Highly recommend everyone watch it if you haven't already.
Well, Joey.
It's worth watching. I do recommend watching the 2003 director's cut. And you're like, oh, that's longer? No, it's actually slightly shorter. It's about a minute shorter. And he basically just trimmed things for pacing. So I think Ridley Scott's become a better director over time. And by 2003, he's like, you know what? Modern audiences, this needs to be a little bit shorter. He might have watched a TV edit and just said, oh, they cut out a few scary things, but it went by faster. If it wasn't for these commercials, this would be a better cut of the movie. I'm just putting myself in his shoes there, which isn't fair. But yeah, I think Aliens is definitely, it's a superior movie, and I'll watch that many more times than this. I bought the Aliens 4K. I'm not going to go out of my way unless it's dirt cheap, and I can't say no to buy the 4K of this film because I'm not going to watch it as much. I might watch it 3 or 4 more times between now and if I die of old age, but I'll probably watch Aliens 10 more times.
Yeah. I'm going to echo everybody on this one. Clearly, this is a duh situation. Yes, it is worth taking time off your death clock. In fact, I think the whole franchise itself is worth taking time off your death clock. I do think that Aliens is the more superior film just because it's more of an action film. I'm like Whitey, I'm big into the action movies and like Tim. But as far as scariness, I think this has it all hands down. I think this was a great film to watch. I mean, even my 14-year-old son loves this movie. He's become a xenomorph addict now. So yeah, I think it's great. So
Well parented.
Thank you.
You've done your job.
All right. Well, with that, it is now feedback time. Ladies and gentlemen, we love to hear from you, so please leave us some feedback. You can email our show at mamreviewpodcast@gmail.com, and you can have your email read right here on the show, or leave a comment on YouTube or Spotify, and we'll read it here too. And hey, we really want you guys to spread the word about our show, Middle Age Movie Reviews. We're trying to get 100 views by the time we get to 100 episodes. So if you find us on YouTube, go ahead and subscribe to us, like us, get it out there that you love our show. And not only do you love, if you love this show, but check out Born to Watch. They're like our Australian step cousins. You know, similar principle here. Bunch of middle-aged guys talking about movies.
With sexy accent.
Which one? Which one's got the sexy accent?
Oh,
All of you, because it's what's the word? Shit. It's exotic to us. Do Americans sound like exotic to you? Are there any women over there that are like, I love an American accent?
I work with an American, so she's all right. I don't mind her. She's all right.
I think we just sound like assholes to them.
Yeah. I think the answer is no. Yeah, you sound like those.
Isn't that right, Dan on the land?
Dan on the land sucks.
All right, gentlemen. Well, normally this is the point of the show where we do a what are you watching? But because this is Halloween night, I decided let's do something a little more fun. Let's shake things up a bit. This is our first monthly quiz time show. Each panelist will get 2 Halloween-themed questions. Not Halloween the movie, but Halloween the holiday, horror movies, anything tied to Halloween, to answer.
Are we still sticking with movies? It's not going to be like anything Halloween?
It's movie-related Halloween stuff. You
Got it.
have 30 seconds or less to answer, and at the end of 2 rounds, whoever is the lucky winner with the most questions answered will win a 2025 Middle Age Movie Reviews Halloween shirt.
Bring it.
Nice.
Why do you have to throw this? Because it's going to be like $50 just to ship it to you.
I'll donate mine.
No, I want Whitey to win it just so he'll wear it during his show.
Yes. I will find a way to get it to you cheap. All right. So our contestants were randomly selected this morning at 2 a.m. when our host came up with this idea while staring in the dark of his bedroom ceiling. Contestant number 1 will be Tim. Contestant number 2 is Rick. Contestant C is Whitey. And contestant 4.5 is Joey. All right, gentlemen. Are you ready for quizzes? Let's not all just
Bring it.
say
Yeah,
Bring it.
ready.
Bring it.
Yes.
Okay.
Yeah.
All right.
Quiz.
All right, Tim, here is your first question. Name the first horror film we ever reviewed on this podcast.
Bro.
Damn.
No way I would know that shit.
I was there. I know it. I think I was on that. Was it Nightmare on Elm Street?
No, that is incorrect.
Damn it.
Hey,
All
can
right,
can I get a chance?
Yeah, we'll go to contestant number 2.
Ooh.
Rick, what was the first horror-themed movie we reviewed on this podcast?
Look, man, I don't know what we reviewed, but I know what I helped you guys review, and that was Evil Dead. So that's all I know.
No, that is incorrect.
But it is true though.
All right, Whitey, I realize that you might be at a little bit of a disadvantage. So, do you know what horror movie we reviewed as our first horror movie on a rather cold night in a hotel?
You might not get that T-shirt.
Halloween.
I think he gave us a clue.
Halloween. I don't know.
No, it was not Halloween.
Okay.
All right, Joey, your chance to win this one. What? Oh, wait. Did you already go?
I'm chronologically confused. The Thing?
No. Ladies and gentlemen.
May I have another chance? Not that I want the point.
He's gone onto Spotify.
Was it The Shining? No, I didn't look. It was The Shining.
Shining.
Oh, yeah.
Shit! I should have known it. I was on it.
I fucking knew
All
that.
right, so nobody gets the first point.
Oh, I lost a trivia question last week. I'm going to ask you one, Matt, because I'm pissed now. How many doors did Stanley Kubrick destroy shooting the iconic axe through the door scene in The Shining?
Like 102?
60.
Ah.
Fuck you.
All right, Tim. Your second question. Name the movie that has 2 children attacked on Halloween night as they are coming home from a school pageant.
A school pageant?
Yeah, I know what this is.
You said 2 characters or 2 kids? 2 teenagers?
2 kids.
2 kids.
I can think of the movie. I just can't think of the damn title. They're going through the forest, and that guy comes out to attack them.
15 seconds.
And it is
Is he even on the right track?
He's on the right
Yeah.
track.
Yeah.
A forest?
Knocks the girl sideways. Yeah, or the boy sideways. Yeah.
Oh, I'm sorry. Your time is up.
I can't think of the name.
Do
of
you
the
have
film.
an answer?
No.
All right.
I got the wrong answer.
Rick, I
Bro,
passed.
I have
I
no
didn't get
idea,
it.
man. I'll throw a shot at the dark, though. Carrie? I don't know.
No, it is not Carrie.
Okay.
No.
All right, Whitey. Do you
Pass.
need me to repeat the question?
Pass.
Pass. All right, Joey.
I don't know.
It's not North by Northwest.
No.
But it's the one with the courthouse in it. It's got
And
the guy that
Gregory
we like to
Peck.
talk so much.
Gregory Peck.
You said this is a horror movie?
No, it's a Halloween.
It's a movie that has a Halloween, take place
in it. The two children that were attacked, their names were Scout.
Hey, hang
Scout,
on.
yes.
Can I have a guess there? It's not To Kill a Mockingbird, is it?
It is To Kill a Mockingbird.
Yes!
What the fuck, man? I was so gonna say that too.
All right.
Literally.
Well, I tell you
literally.
what. Since Whitey passed, but then he
Nah.
came around and got it, I will give Whitey a point.
No,
Since
give
no
it to
one's
Joey.
getting any points.
Give it to Joey.
All
Joey was
right.
going to say it. Joey was going to say it.
No, it wasn't.
That
I was
was
way
me who
off.
said that shit.
I don't have shit.
That was me who said that stupid shit.
Oh, get my $130 T-shirt. Mama needs a new
Rick.
T-shirt. Let's do it.
And a pair of socks.
Pair of socks.
Rick.
Just send him a used sticky
Oh,
pair of
shit.
socks since you didn't specify anything
Hey,
about
for
that.
those who don't know the reference, go watch the review Mad Max,
Mad Max.
Born to Watch, and a middle-aged review podcast went together on this one. Oh my God! If you want to have a laugh, please
You
do
gotta give
yourself
him
a favor
big
and check
socks
this
there.
one out. And if you get a chance, donate your extra socks to what was the brand again over there, middle-aged Matt?
Bomba socks. Buy a Bomba sock, and
Bomba socks.
and they'll send a sock to a needy Australian family.
There you go.
Which is everyone. Every in Australia.
Rick, are you ready for your first question?
Barely.
All right. What film shares the name of an out-of-this-world creature and a severed hand?
What movie?
Yes.
Out of this world creature. Say it again.
Mhm.
What's the whole question?
What film shares the name of an out-of-this-world creature and a severed hand?
Man, I only know one horror movie that have a severed hand, and that's the Addams Family. That's it, man.
Okay.
You're on the right
You're on the
track,
right
but
track.
that's not the name of the title. You lost. Next. I know what it is.
I know what
Next.
it is. I know what it is.
Well, I was going to say, next up is contestant
I literally
C
said the title
of
earlier
Whitey.
today.
Is it me?
Whitey, what is it?
The Thing.
That is correct.
Wrong. No, he's wrong.
The Thing.
It's the thing from another
bro.
world.
Ain't no the, bro.
Please.
Come on.
God, it's just there we go. That's two.
Because it's out of
Yes,
this
pair of
world.
socks. Woo!
That's two for Whitey. All right, Rick.
One
I'm
for each
nitpicking.
foot. One
Are you
for each
ready for
foot.
your second question?
Sure.
All right. What alien adventure movie takes place during Halloween and could be considered a Halloween movie due to the Die Hard principle?
Gremlins.
No.
Okay, cool.
They're not aliens, dude.
Well, I mean,
And that's
whatever.
Christmas.
Yeah,
Yes.
that's what
Not
I said.
Halloween.
It's got to be during Christmas.
Not Halloween.
He said it takes place on Halloween and has
Oh my
aliens, but
fucking
it's
God!
not
You
a
said
Halloween
it takes
movie.
place during Christmas, but it's a
What
Halloween
alien?
movie.
What? All right, I'm gonna ask it again. What alien adventure movie takes place during Halloween and could be considered a Halloween movie due to the Die Hard principle? Whitey.
I don't know, man.
No, I'm a pass on this one. I'm a pass.
All right, Joey.
Am I allowed to ask AI? Because I don't
No.
know.
Shit,
No,
bro,
that's
what
cheating.
the fuck, man?
All right, so that disqualifies me. But I'm gonna, just for fun, I'm gonna find out if
No.
Google AI
Not
knows.
All right,
can't
not
say
don't
anything yet. I haven't had my turn.
Yeah, say wait
I
until
won't say
Tim
it.
hits.
I'm not
his
gonna. Of
answer.
course.
It's
course.
E.T. the Extraterrestrial.
That is correct. It is E.T.
Shit, that's right.
All right, so
Thank you.
that's 2 for Whitey and 1 for Tim.
Alien
on a comeback.
adventure.
I'm on a
I was thinking
comeback.
plural. Yeah, singular like this movie.
Let's see, that was Rick. So now we're up to Whitey. All right, Whitey, are you ready for your 2 questions?
Let's do it. Let's do it.
All right, here's the first one. I'll admit, I'm giving you a softball here. Name the classic Universal movie that Mel Brooks poked fun at with an Abby normal brain.
It's a young Frankenstein. Is that it?
I'm sorry.
No.
I'm not looking for young Frankenstein. Joey, are you ready? Name the classic.
No, I have no fucking clue if it's not that.
The classic Universal movie that
Universal
Mel Brooks poked fun at with an abnormal brain.
Oh, you're asking me first?
Yes.
Frankenstein.
Oh, you can see.
No, you asked me
You gotta
first.
listen
Hey,
carefully to the
Whitey's
question.
eyes.
Frankenstein. Frankenstein.
Yes, it is Frankenstein.
Yeah. I need those.
All right, so here's the score so far.
What a
Whitey,
jib.
That American accent throws off the questions every time.
Whitey has an astounding lead of 2,
Yeah.
while Tim's coming up with his 1. And Joey's right behind with 1. And following up the rear is Rick with a big fat 0.
No one's shocked. Bro.
All right. Whitey, are you ready for this one?
Talk slowly. Let's
Okay.
go.
And use small words.
Name the person
Yes.
whose likeness has murdered babysitters since 1978.
William Shatner.
That is correct.
That is very correct.
Well, that's 3. This is the America's Cup all over again. Let's do it.
All right. Let's see. That would now bring us over to Joey. Joey, are you ready for this?
Go.
Stephen King is considered one of the most prolific horror writers. Tell me the total number of Stephen King films we have reviewed.
Damn it. All right.
20 seconds.
And why he get 20 seconds? Tim will get 15.
That's because I already hit the start of the timer. It's the countdown. 10 seconds. 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Do you have an answer?
2.
That would be incorrect.
I couldn't think of it. I figured we probably was more than 2, but I couldn't think of what we did.
All right. Tim, to you. How many Stephen King films have we reviewed?
We have done The Shining. We have done Shawshank Redemption. We have done Carrie. And we have done Stand By Me. I will say 4.
That is correct.
I
That
was
is
thinking
like-
scary movies. That's why I couldn't think of
That's
it.
like worth 2 points. He like named each one. That's
No,
impressive.
just
man.
one. Just 1 point.
All right, just a quick count here. So Whitey's sitting at 3 points.
Aussie.
Tim is sitting at 2 points. And Joey is at 1, while Rick again is sitting with a big fat 0. All right, back to you, Joey. Name 2 of the horror films that Tim has hosted for this podcast because I was either out of town or unable to start in time.
I have to name just one of them?
Name 2, and your timer is going.
Scream, Halloween.
I am sorry, that is incorrect. All right, Tim. This is kind of a gimme, man. But name 2 of the horror movies that you have hosted because I was either out of town or was unable to start in time.
I believe that would be American Werewolf in London, The Wolfman, and Scream.
Well, you only needed 2 of them, so congratulations.
This is rigged.
You now have 3 points.
This is fucking horse shit.
I've only hosted
This
3
is
times.
horse shit.
Just give it to Whitey. You can buy a T-shirt on an Australian website and pay normal amount
That's
of
kind of what I was planning on doing. All right.
Yo, man, where's all the horror questions about The Conjuring or Annabelle or any of that stuff, man? That's the kind of horror. That's the kind of horror movies I watch.
Yeah,
man.
where's
I
the
watch
movie?
any of that shit.
Where's the question about a movie that was made after 2015 so Rick can fucking answer it?
That's what I'm talking about, bro.
Yeah.
That's what I'm talking about. Yeah,
Gen Z
obviously.
garbage.
Well, if you guys didn't notice,
The Ring and
if
further.
you guys didn't notice a theme in the questions, every movie we have reviewed, every question has to do with a movie we reviewed.
Matt, I
That
can
makes sense.
remember
That makes
what
sense.
we ate for dinner last night. I can't remember the night before.
All right. Well,
So is there a throwdown
right now,
question?
yes,
between
there's a
me and
throwdown
Whitey?
question.
okay.
All right.
Sudden death!
Here we go. So this is between Tim and Whitey.
Woo.
All right.
The heat
Name-
is on.
Okay,
What movie's
so
that from,
here's what we're
Whitey?
going to do. Because I can see both of you guys, the first one to raise their hand gets to answer the question. All right. Name the first guest to appear on our podcast during last year's Halloween Horror Month and the film that we reviewed.
This is rigged. 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 Fucking rigged.
Yes.
He doesn't know.
No, he doesn't
Whitey.
know.
I
No.
don't.
I think I know.
I don't have it. I would say it's Cyber, and I don't know the movie.
That would be incorrect. It is not Cyber.
Okay.
Is it not helium?
It was Whitey.
Is it not?
It was Whitey for no.
And it was
Oh my
Jaws,
God.
just
If
like
we
on
were-
his shirt.
If we were both on it, we don't remember.
Yeah.
We really
Yeah, that'd be
did
good.
bottom.
Why do you want to take a stab?
Nah. Is it on? Was it Andres?
No, it wasn't Andres.
He run out of helium. That week.
It was actually Rick, and it was Night of the Living Dead.
Of the Living Dead. Yep.
No, I wasn't on that one, so I wouldn't have remembered.
I would have also accepted Jeff, the air pilot.
Oh yeah.
So
Jeff with a G.
yes, Jeff with a G.
Jeff with the G.
All right, I tell you what, you both win a shirt. Congratulations.
Let's make it a tie. Keep your shirt. I didn't want it anyway.
Or forgo my shirt so that Whitey can have one, just because I wanted to wear it on the show, so I can hear Dan on the land complain.
All right.
That will be my gift from this.
All right. Well, I hope everyone's enjoyed our Halloween episode. I want to thank Whitey from Born to Watch podcast for joining us this evening to discuss Alien. Whitey, where can our listeners hear more from your crew?
You can find us on YouTube under Born to Watch podcast, also on all good podcast platforms, Spotify, Apple, or check out our website, borntowatch.com.au, and leave us a message, voicemail, like our foreign correspondent did this morning. Join the crew. We'd love to have you along.
All right. Well, thanks for listening, everybody, to the Middle Age Movie Views podcast and our review of Alien. We hope you've enjoyed it because I know we were busting out to bring it to you. And if you did enjoy it, please subscribe, leave a comment, share with your friends. Because remember, in space, no one can hear us cry when you don't subscribe.
Follow us on Facebook, X, Blue Sky, and Instagram. Have a comment or suggestion, then email the show at manreviewpodcast@gmail.com.
Thanks. Stay cool, and bye, everyone.
Sigourney Weaver's 76 now. I mean, and she refuses to trim her minge. So what the situation down there is now? She got like braided up. Does she have it like in Predator braids? Is female pubic alopecia the thing? Is it starting to fall out?
Don't tell me she got extensions, bro. That ain't even cool.
dear me.
They're natural extensions.
Oh.